Haddon Heights, New Jersey, Friday, June 2nd, I think, 2022. I'm walking through this lovely park. This area here used to be underwater, and it feels like I'm walking underwater. What I can hear in the distance is a rally of citizens of New Jersey, Camden County, who are absolutely outraged that little children can go to school and get shot, and that our politicians think there's no reason at all to regulate guns. Oh, it's beautifully cool here. It's about 85, 90 degrees. In the sun here, it's about 75.
And his site was from 2016.
That's lovely.
So,
okay, pass this by. I try not to get anyone in the video. I went to see the goats this afternoon. They're still there, but I couldn't see them. That's 2 days in a row I haven't seen them. Then I heard there was a little altercation with some kids and some cops with the goats. I hope not with the goats, but in the park last night, so I hope they're all right, and I hope they're there, and I hope when I go tomorrow I'll see them again. So what happened was, last week an 18-year-old got hold of was it last week or this week? Yes, last week. An 18-year-old got hold of an Armalite rifle and killed 21 people in a school, all in the same classroom. And last week, an 18-year-old drove a long way to Buffalo to kill a whole lot of people of African descent in a supermarket in Buffalo. And yesterday we hear that a patient who was in pain from a procedure by an orthopedic surgeon went to the hospital yesterday and killed the orthopedic surgeon and another surgeon and 2 other people. It's like every day. It's called a mass shooting when you just go and you shoot more than one person. And they're not just in schools. Schools are what horrify us, of course. But in 2021, 705 kids and adults were killed in a school shooting, which is 705 more than we can bear. But the National Rifle Association, look at this, is 705 out of a population of 350 million. That's hardly anything. How can we possibly regulate guns over such a small amount? Well, it's like anything else. If it's your child, your whole world has ended. And then meanwhile, we're in the middle of this awful genocidal war by Russia against Ukraine. Here we are, we can see them now. They're all wearing orange. I have an orange shirt in my bag, which I will take out. So, well, there's a lot of orange, a lot of people. Stop gun control now. Wow, that's a nice, it's a very big, that's a big turnout on a beautiful summer evening. I'm going to turn it off now because I don't want to take pictures of people. I just want to show, you can hear it. I just want to show this beautiful woods where we are.
you're honoring by being here tonight.
The auditorium was named after two cops that were killed
So we can say their name with you, and we can keep them
some years ago. I remember the funeral procession. Cops came from all over New Jersey and Pennsylvania. Now they're giving the names of people who've been killed in gun violence. It's a very sad time.
Okay, now let's talk about all of this orange. What is it all about?
Okay,
Wear Orange is a national campaign dedicated to honoring the lives of Americans affected by gun violence and elevating the voices of every American who demands an end to gun violence. Wear Orange and National Gun Violence Awareness Day was inspired by Project Orange Tree, which was a campaign started by the classmates of a young woman named Haddon Pendleton in Chicago. They started this campaign to commemorate her life after she was shot and killed in Chicago at the age of 15, just 1 week after performing in President Obama's second inaugural parade.
Yeah.
In addition to being her favorite color, the color orange has a long and proud history in the gun violence prevention movement, whether it's worn by hunters in the woods of Pennsylvania to be seen, or activists in New York, or by Hadia's loved ones in Chicago. Tonight, we put orange on for the 110 people shot and killed in this country every day, for the 200 every day who are shot and wounded and go on to live with the trauma of having survived their violence. We wear orange for the loved ones and their communities. We wore orange for the 19 children and 2 teachers shot and killed in their classroom at Robb Elementary School in Uvalde, Texas. We wear orange for the 10 beautiful souls shot and killed as they finished their weekly grocery shopping at their neighborhood store Tops in Buffalo, New York. We wear orange for the 4 victims of a gunman in St. Francis Hospital who just 2 days ago in Tulsa, Oklahoma, sought a patient seeking health care, for God's sakes, 2 doctors and a receptionist. And the list goes on and on and on. We are wearing orange to bear witness to what is a moral catastrophe. Gun violence impacts people of all colors, incomes, genders, and sexual orientations, but make no mistake, there are those among us who bear the brunt of this crisis. We know that gun violence disproportionately impacts communities of color. Non-Hispanic or Latinx Black Americans make up just 13% of the US population, but 58% of firearm homicide victims. And here in New Jersey, if you are Black, you are 35 times more likely to die by gun homicide than if you are white. This is not because Black Americans are inherently more prone to violence than others. The causes of their disproportionate impact are multifold and specific to the history of our country, a long litany of discriminatory policies that have left Black and Latinx people in segregated communities with high rates of poverty, unemployment, and incarceration. And when concentrated, these factors are strong determinants of violent crime. We know that white men represent 73% of firearm suicide victims, and the U.S. experiences a gun suicide rate that is 12 times that of other high-income countries. We know that gun violence is a women's problem. In today's America, 70 women are shot and killed by an intimate partner every single day. In other words, if you are a woman here in America today, you are 28 times more likely to be killed by a gun than a woman in another high-income country. And nearly 1 million of us alive today have been shot or shot at by an intimate partner. We know that gun violence is now officially the leading cause of death among our nation's children and teens. More than 2,100 children and teens die by gun homicide every year, and more than 3 million other children witness it every year. And finally, we're seeing a surge in the number of shootings fueled by hate and extremism. Annually, more than 10,000 of these incidents involve a gun. We only need to look at the headlines, again, from the past couple of weeks to see this trend. We can read about armed protesters showing up at peaceful rallies or across the street from polling locations. This type of violence chills democratic speech, and undermines our democratic institutions. Let's make no mistake about this. This affects us all. For those who don't have a personal connection to gun violence, social media and the 24-hour news cycle gives us that connection and has brought evidence of this violence into all of our homes. We are increasingly a nation traumatized by these numbers. But we aren't paralyzed. At Moms Demand Action, we're committed to working for a future when we no longer have to wear orange. In just over 9 years, Moms Demand Action has grown from a Facebook page to the largest grassroots movement in the country with more than 8 million volunteers and supporters.
Wow.
And we are growing really fast. Thank you. We're a nonpartisan organization committed to supporting common sense gun reforms that keep guns out of the hands of dangerous people and make all of our communities safer. We're moms and we're dads and we're students and survivors. We are Democrats and Republicans, doctors, educators, veterans. We are gun owners, and we are people who have never touched a gun in our lives. Today, Wear Orange is drawing attention to these numbers and then to the personal stories behind these numbers. It's about giving love and support for those whom these numbers aren't just statistics. It's also about amplifying our voices, the voices of survivors with personal stories to tell, and the voices of the volunteers who stand beside them. When over 40,000 people are shot and killed in this country every year, our silence is complacency. As Connecticut Senator Chris Murphy just begged on the Senate floor a week ago, this time, doing nothing is not an option. And at this time, I'd like to call up Lindsay. Hold on just a minute. At this time, I would like to call up the Mayor of Camden, Mayor Vick.
We're in Camden County, so this is essentially a suburb of Camden, as is Haddonfield. So this is Haddon Heights. We also have Haddon Township and Haddonfield, all named after a pacifist
Good early evening, everyone.
called Elizabeth Haddon.
Actually, I just left my community in the city of Camden, and we were doing a prayer, stop gun violence in our community, going to 7 different areas in our community, and just trying to get our residents to understand, you know, how terrible what's going on around our country and our city with this gun control that we don't have has affected so many of us. I mean, it's actually a public emergency, a public health emergency. This is really, it's like its own pandemic, what's going on with our gun violence. 3 weeks ago in my city, there was a student shot because of senseless gun violence. You know, our state has strict laws, but it's the neighboring states that we border, Pennsylvania, Ohio, that has these loose gun laws. I mean, we're being smothered. Our nation is being smothered by firearms. No parent should have to go through the ordeal that Uvalde, Texas parents have gone through. When is enough enough? And I'm proud to always stand with our Congressman Donald Norcross, because I know he's going to be fighting in Washington, D.C. to try to make some sense to these laws. I'm proud to be around another community that understands we have to make sense
I'm not a big
of these
fan
gun
of
laws.
Don Norcross.
I'm proud when I left my city.
And he's
We
not a
stopped in
Republican.
one community, 5 to 6 cars got behind us. We went to another part of our community, 5 to 6, 7, 8 cars and families got behind us. We went to another community, 8, 9, 10 more cars got behind us. It made me proud to have a procession of almost 100 cars riding through our community. We have to be better. We all have to be better. We all have to continue to come together to be better, stronger in our commitment to what's going on with this gun controls and senseless killings in our community. The fever pitch has to get high. You know, I'm tired of, the moments of silences and, everything we go to every time. Stop the moments of silence. Action has to be taken. So again, thank you all. We're all in this together. South Jersey, Team Camden. We all work together. We all have to keep this momentum going. I'm telling you, the pitch has to continue to go high, and this is how it happens. Continue to come together. Thank you for allowing me to be here today. Let's all keep pushing to make and get good gun control.
Okay, that's the mayor of Camden. And I guess this is...
Let's hear it one more time from Mayor Vic. All right. I'm from Camden Moms Demand Action. I'm also with IDEA, which is the Institute for the Development of Education in the Arts, that services many of our youth in the Camden County area. And we want to thank Mayor Vic. Tomorrow he will be going through the neighborhoods and giving us a commitment, a proclamation, committing himself to anti-gun violence in America. So thanks again, and let's go on with the show.
Really high trees here. We get plenty of water. It's just a beautiful night.
Hi, my name is Lindsay Hamilton. I'm a former local group lead for the South Jersey Moms Demand Action. I'm here to introduce our next speaker. Randy Van Osten served as the pastor for the First Baptist Church of Pittman, New Jersey. Randy is a dual BA in Psychology and Urban Studies from Eastern University and a Master's of Divinity from Palmer Seminary. He and his wife Tina, through their passion for coffee and conversation, established the
Okay.
Treehouse Coffee Shop and Cafe.
I'm going to stop this now.
College,
I'll start
most recently in Audubon, New
just
Jersey.
move.
Notable
Susanna
that we both
Jacobs,
had a wonderful mentor in Tina's mother, Shirley Conroy,
June 2nd,
a passionate teacher and
2022,
community
Friday.
activist who